Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Robin with Stamp with Dr. Robin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in lovely San Diego, California, where it's almost 80 degrees, I think, today. It's a little warm. Feels warmer, too, because it's muggy. We've been having like 70–80% humidity, and that's a little unusual for us. So, feels a little bit warmer, but still quite lovely today. I'm just making sure I'm on. Yay. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Say hi, who's ever on, and tell me where you're watching from and kind of what's your weather like there. So anyway, what's going on with Stampin' Up? And me, still got our paper craft design group coming through. If you spend $50, you get 7 different videos. This month about our sweet jar or jar of joy. 2 online exclusive, really fun stamp sets with a really nice punch. And check out the new online exclusives. If you're not working with the demo, we're going to be having, you should let me know your address and I will send you a new catalog, because we are going to be getting a mini catalog September through December, and I can send you one of those if you don't have somebody that you're already working with. And also I've got only one more Christmas in July packet left, where for $60 and another $10 shipped to you, you're going to make 8 different cards. You're going to have everything you need to make 8 different cards, half a pack of the Season of Elegance DSP, 2 different embellishments, half a roll of the open weave trim, and for that $60, you're also getting the Jar of Joy stamp set. So I can show you the 4 cards that I made, because I'm doing this with my friend and upline Peggy Noe, and these are the cards that I've made. Here's one, fun fold. Turn the jar into a little snow globe. Another one with the jars. And then we've got 2 with the Jolly Holly, or Jolly Holly set. So those are my 4 cards to entice you. And Peggy has 4 different cards. Now, here is something really exciting that I just found out right before I went online, is July 23rd to the 25th is going to be another 3 days of free shipping through Stampin' Up. You have to spend $75 and then you get free shipping. And these just pop in, we never know when, and it makes me sad because I just placed a big order to get everything for the stamp class, the Christmas in July, last night. If I wait a couple more days, I could have saved a boatload of money, but you can save a boatload of money by not having to pay that 11% shipping. So today we are going to be once again working with the Painterly Pear suite. And let's put you down so you can see that a little bit better here. That's a little too far down. Okay, so the suite consists of the Perfectly Pears stamp set die set. Has some great sentiments. Congratulations, hello, thank you, friend. A good friend is a gift. Pears, large pears that have an outline, as well as this is a distinctive stamp here. Same thing with some little baby pears, 2-step stamping, also with the leaves, flowers. These are little centers for the flowers. And then this is just some little dots that you can use on the pears, and I'll show you about that. And then these, let's rearrange this a little bit. These guys all, there, so you can see that a little better. These guys over here cut out the stamps. These guys here are just fun embellishments. These 2 can go for some of the words, if you want to use them like that. So, and then there's some lovely ribbon. It's supposed to be Mossy Meadow and Gold. and some lovely, what are these called? Low profile sparkle dots. Let's get these out so you can see them a little bit better. And they're in, this is probably Misty Moon, oh no, Secret Sea, Mossy Meadow / Old Olive-ish, and Darling Duckling. But you know, you can use them with any other yellow or green, they go really well. And then the star of this is the DSP is really quite beautiful. Mine's so cut up, I don't know if I even have whole pieces to show you because I've been making so many different cards. So we're not going to make cards out of this today. This one, I love when Stampin' Up does this with these large pieces that you can cut up because they can make such really easy cards. So I did cut up one of mine like this already. So here are 2 cards I already made. These dies are the, what are they called? Nested Essential dies that I used for my sentiments, and we are going to stamp some pears together so you'll see how the pears work. And then the backs are more like small prints. So here's some more pears with a pretty small print on the back. Some more pears with the petal pink in the background and the Secret Sea. More pears with the, I think this is Darling Duckling in the background. And this is the one I wanted to show you too. This one has all the stuff, the big stuff on here, the pears, the little pears, the leaves, even these 3, all can be cut out with the dies. So I actually took the other piece of this and completely cut it out with the dies. And again, pretty one on the back. I think the other 2 are the ones that, or the other one is the one that I'm using today, which is this piece, which is, I think, my favorite piece there. I would just love to wallpaper an entire bathroom or something with this. Hey Noreen, hey Roz. I don't know if you guys were all on when I mentioned July 23rd to the 25th is free shipping days with Stampin' Up. So you have to spend $75, but you get free shipping. All right, so let's get going making a card. So I need to get this out of the way. This is the card that we're going to make. It's a new fun fold. I learned it, I think it was Lisa Curio. It does use a fair amount of Designer Series paper, but it's really cool how it works. Ready? Woo! Isn't that pretty? Because I love how it kind of like hides the gorgeous paper on the inside. You just get to see a little piece of it, and you see this kind of more plain thing, and then it's like, woo, almost like an explosion card. And then some people will also put another piece up here and, you know, decorate it or write something or whatever. I wasn't in the mood to do that. But this would be a really special card to send to someone. So I thought we would do it with this paper, because like I said, this is my favorite paper. And yeah, it's really a wow card. That's a good idea, Roz, making your Rosh Hashanah cards with it. I thought about it, but then other people are going to say, where are the apples? We need apples for Rosh Hashanah. Oh, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to start with doing pears. So the other pear card I made a few weeks ago, I made with the cutout pears because I was kind of a little intimidated by the stamp set and trying to figure out how to get shading, because I want to try to make pears that kind of are going to match here. Now, the nice thing about this page is it has like multiple different pears on here. So my suggestion is get some pears and just start playing, and I'll give you a whole bunch of little suggestions. I have to say I learned a lot from Patty Bennett. If you want to watch her, she spent like an hour just playing with the pears. But one thing is layering on color is really effective with this. So I'm going to do a couple with you today of different ways, of different color combinations. So this is Darling Duckling, and I'm stamping the whole thing in Darling Duckling. And this is going to be probably not one that we use on here, but I just wanted to kind of show you how to do some of this. And then I'm taking a sponge dauber and some Flirty Flamingo, and just getting some Flirty Flamingo kind of in the middle there. I'm going to have a bunch open at the same time, which I don't usually do. And I actually should probably order these. I haven't used my sponge daubers very much, but here's some Granny Apple Green. And one thing is I'm not going to use that little outline because I'm going to do more like an outline and fill in with my other colors. So there's some Granny Apple Green. And then I'm going to use some Old Olive. And just get that right on the edge. And that's kind of going to be more my edge. Okay? And every time you do this, obviously, it's going to come out a little different. But isn't that pretty? And then I'm going to just stamp it off over here and try to, oh, that's not going to work. Hold, please. I'm going to need to get something I can wash with. So let me just wipe off my stamp, because I am going to, you know, you start light on the color that you're going to stamp it in, and then you add the darker colors with your you know, blending brushes or sponge daubers. So that was what was it first? Darling Duckling, then some Granny Apple Green and some Flirty Flamingo and some mossy around the edge. Now this time I'm actually going to start with the greens. And so this is Lemon Lime Twist. We'll start with that. Then I'm going to add just a little bit of the Flirty Flamingo with my sponge dauber, trying to imitate the ones that's in the page that I'm doing. And then a little Granny Apple Green, because there's a lot of different greens in here. And then I'm going to put some Old Olive around the edge. Again, it gives it some shading, but it also helps with not having the harsh edge like you would if you were going to use the outline. So this is a more green one. And can you see the difference here? I don't know if I'm holding it up well. But this one to me looks like you could use a little bit of yellow. So I'm gonna wipe this off. And then what you can do is go back and stamp a little yellow in here. So I'm gonna get some Lemon Lolly, because that's our lightest yellow. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to stamp over what I just did with the Lemon Lolly. And you just get that extra little yellow in there. I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. Just makes it a little lighter, a little yellow. You get like extra little colors going on in there. And I think that's good. And like I said, just, you know, don't be afraid to play with it. I'm going to close up some of these now and make some leaves. I haven't made a completely red pear yet, but I will. All right, so I'm going to, try two things for the leaves. One, or a couple maybe. Stamp, this is Old Olive for the outline. And then I think I'm going to stamp one outline in Granny Apple. And then for the inside, whoa, what was that? Piece of yuck. Granny Apple, and then I'm going to use my Old Olive kind of around the darker part on the bottom here. Let's see how that works. Wow, it's really hard for me to see this. I'd say we can go lighter. What do you think? Maybe what I'll do is on one of these we'll go into the Granny Apple and actually stamp it off and then give just a little bit of Old Olive-y stuff. Let's try that. I like that one a little bit better. I don't know, the Granny Apple seems kind of dark today. Maybe you want to try lemon lime twist on there, maybe. Let's try that. All the different greens are fair game here, I think. All right, this is lemon lime twist. Let's go into there and then just put a little bit of Old Olive on the bottom. And then we'll decide which one we like best. What do you guys think? I think I like the last one we did. So that was lemon lime twist and Old Olive. All right. So now we need to cut these out. I'm going to, for today anyway, use this and this one. So like I said, I would recommend you just play with pears and just do a whole bunch of different colors and then go from there. And like you saw, you can layer them afterwards even. Just stamp some over it if you don't like it. There's that one. And there's the leaves. I'm going to do this one, this lighter one. The brighter one I kind of like better. Leaves, we got pears, And then we'll just keep stamping on this later and cutting out a bunch of pears. Plus, when you, here's some other ones that I did. Oh wait, let's finish this pear with, remember those little dots I showed you? So let's just get some of those little dots on our pear. Just a few. This was early espresso. So here's the ones we made today. And here's ones that I made using some of those same colors. But I just cut them all out, and I'm going to, I keep them, might as well put them back. I think this was an old dimensional plastic thing. And then when I want to make a card, I already have pears ready to go. So it's easy to make another card. All right, I'm going to stick this on here. And then we're going to put it to the side. I decided I liked it better like that because you know how the pears always have their little guys coming out kind of off center. All right, now let's make that little explosion part. That's what you guys are all waiting for here. All right, so this piece of paper is 6 3/4 by 8 inches. So unfortunately, you're only getting one of these out of each, I think I'll do it like that for you to be able to see it, out of each of these things, which is really kind of too bad, but sorry. All right, so I've got the shorter side up here. It's real important we've got a directional thing like here. This is the 8-inch part. So what you're going to do is you're going to score that at 2 3/4. Then you're going to rotate it 90 degrees, and you're going to score this one at 2 3/4. Okay. It may be a little hard to see on here, so I think I'm going to turn it to this side for part of this. Now you're going to want to burnish it actually going both directions on here. And this way. So I'm going to have this be on the inside. Hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing by doing it this way. All right, so now what you're going to do, hopefully you can see those two lines, is you're going to take this and you're going to fold it down until this line, score line, and this score line meet, and same the other directions. So see where the score line, I can't even see it, so I'm sure you can't see where the two score lines are on the sides. You're going to get these other two score lines to line up with it. Let's turn on another light and see if that's any easier for both of us. All right, I can see it better, maybe you can't, but there's that score line lines up with that one, and this score line needs to line up with that one. And once that happens, then you're going to make another score, and what will happen is this point of that little square will be right on the point of that. Okay, so did you get that? These are our two score lines here and here, and then you just make the triangle so that these score lines line up like that. Then here's the fun part. You just take this and you take those little triangles and you fold, hold on, I'm gonna have to do it towards myself. And you just kind of fold them in, okay? So you put your fingers right where those little triangles come in that you made, and then it folds itself in. Whoops, folds itself in. There we go. Fold yourself in. Let me score it in, and then you can really see it. Whoops. Okay, I'm gonna do it one more time. Okay, so we did it like that. We're going to take this and it'll just kind of fold in on itself if you put your fingers right in here. And what you're trying to do is get both of those little edges to kind of fold themselves in underneath that little square. Underneath, there you go, that little square. Come on. And that's it. And now it's just a matter of decorating it and putting it together. So this fits on a quarter sheet. So this is just some old olive. Hey, Tammy. And this is 5.5 by 4.25. And you're just going to kind of center it on there. Now we're just going to decorate it. So I have 2 pieces that I cut out of a basic white, and I cut it with the, what is this one? 1, 2, 3, 4th largest textured note. Now we're going to decorate that up. Now I use the congratulations on here, and I'm going to stamp that first in the old olive before I put anything else down, so that I can be sure everything's going to fit on here well, because this word is big. And obviously you can use whatever you want for this. I decided this was too nice to be a thank you note. So congratulations works, or it could be a really nice birthday card for somebody. And then, there's my little, there we go. Remember there was a really pretty just die like this with some leaves on it. I don't need this little bottom part, so I'm going to cut it off so it's not sticking off the edge. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Mossy Meadow, and I'm just going to put a little around the edges on here, again with a sponge dauber, just to give it, again, a little bit more depth. Little sponge dauber around some of these edges. I got a little too much on my sponge dauber. You get the idea. I just think that gives it a little extra depth on here. And that was some Mossy Meadow. So you see I'm using all my little greens here. And then that's going to sit up here like that on some dimensionals. Whoever made these leaves made them like perfect dimensional size. Oh, don't go away, dimensionals, we're going to need you. All right, let's just glue this down just a little. You don't want to put very much glue on here because these leaves are fenestrated. They have little holes in them, and so just teeny little dots of glue, or you will have glue everywhere. That's what I love about this liquid glue. One, you can move stuff if you don't like your position. And two, it doesn't take much of this glue to really stick well. Thank you, Beth. Like I said, I do watch other people a lot, and I get ideas. Like I think it was Lisa Curio who showed this, how to do this, I don't know what it's called, mini explosion card. Now when you stick this on here, you can try to put it in the middle, but you only want to stick it down to this top corner here. So only up in here for the dimensionals. You don't even want to get too far over this corner. Hopefully I didn't Oh, I got the dimensionals too far to the side there. Because you don't want them going past that edge. All right. Hopefully, yay. Okay. And now we need to decorate. This one is going to go, I use the exact same size, and that's going to go up in here for us to write on. And I just didn't want it, you know, to show there. So that's why we've got just a little one. And I am going to decorate it with some of those little flowers. So I am going to get my, should we have flirty flamingo or yellow flowers? Maybe we'll have yellow flowers this time. We'll have some darling duckling flowers. I haven't really been using this all that much, this color. I'm actually going to stamp these off to the side because I kind of want them really light so that you could actually write over this. And then this is the little centers. We'll do that whole. Now you kind of have to play with this a little bit to figure out where the centers go. But there we go. We got some really light flowers, and see how you could easily write over that. And the other ones on this other card that I did them with the flirty flamingo. If you guys don't have these textured notes dies, they're also an online exclusive. I love these. Each one has a different kind of border texture that it puts on. All right, and then this is going to go right up in here. Like I said, this is my favorite piece of paper on this one. And we'll close it all up, and then we need to put some little dots. So what color? I think we're just going to use the green dots. The yellow is not going to show up at all. So let's use some green dots. They're two different sizes. They sparkle a little bit. They don't want to get picked up by my take your pick tool. Maybe we just, you know how you gotta sometimes just give it a little bit more juice. There we go. Maybe that'll help. Yeah, that helps. And then another big one, I think, down here. All right. What do you think? Oh, I know. One more little thing. I put a little bit of this ribbon, this Mossy Meadow and Gold ribbon. Just a little knot. I don't know why you guys do not like to tie bows. I've noticed when I have class. Nobody likes bows. Or actually, I shouldn't say that. They like bows. They just don't like tying bows. There is a distinction there. And then we'll get a little glue dot. And then we've used basically everything in this entire suite of products. There we go. So pretty. So pretty. So here's the two, the one that I made the other day and then the one that we just made today. And you can see how different the pears look, but it's all the same stuff. So I love this suite. I think it's a lot of fun. I'll bring back in the other ones that I was showing you. That's just using the paper, and again, the different pears. I don't think I have one sitting here. Or maybe I do. that I made? Oh, yeah, I do. This is the other one that I made on another Facebook Live. This is another one that I made with my friend Peggy. Actually, no, this is another one I made. This is one I made with Peggy. We had pink pears at Peggy's house. So isn't this adorable, you guys? Whoa, look at all these pear explosion. I'm gonna call this a pearapalooza. There we go. Got a class here. Anybody want a pear class? Should we make a pear class, Beth? And Tammy, would you come to an all pear class? But that was the other fun fold we made last time. Alrighty, so I don't know if all of you were on at the beginning, but we've got some free shipping coming up on the 23rd through the 25th. So if you spend $75, just get some pears with them. So thank you, Roz. I just think this is a lot of fun. It just uses a lot of paper, but time to get some more pear paper, I'd say. All right, guys, I will see you next week, 1 o'clock. Take care. Bye.